You walk into a golf shop, pick up a driver, and the first thing you look at is the head. The loft. Maybe the price tag? The shaft is the thin piece connecting the two, and most golfers treat it like an afterthought. That is exactly what the industry is counting on. The shaft is the engine of the golf club. It controls launch angle, spin rate, accuracy, and distance more directly than the club head it is attached to. Get it wrong, and none of the engineering in that head matters. And here is the part nobody tells you at the counter. There is no industry standard for shaft flex. A stiff shaft from one manufacturer plays nothing like a stiff shaft from another. The letter printed on the side of your shaft is a marketing label, not a specification. It has never been regulated, never been standardized, and the golf industry has shown no interest in changing that. The average male golfer swings a driver at 93 miles per hour. The shaft most of them are playing was built for someone swinging 20 miles per hour faster. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which shafts are working against your swing speed, and the 3 that will actually put yards back in your game. The last shaft on this list is inside more amateur bags than any other, and the performance data on what it does to a 90 miles per hour swing is not pretty. Project X, HZRDUS Smoke Black. This shaft has been the most talked about aftermarket upgrade in golf for the last several years. Low launch, low spin, tour level stiffness. It is the shaft that tour players reach for when they need to tighten dispersion at 115 miles per hour. The key phrase there is 115 miles per hour. The HZRDUS Smoke Black plays firmer than its stated flex because of how Project X profiles its shafts. A 6.0 stiff from Project X plays closer to an extra stiff from most other manufacturers. That distinction is almost never explained at the point of sale. A golfer swinging at 90 miles per hour puts the shaft in their driver, feels the low launch, watches the ball bore into the ground and leak right, and assumes they need swing lessons. They do not need swing lessons, they need a shaft that loads. When a shaft is too stiff for your swing speed, it cannot flex and release through impact the way it was designed to. The energy stored in the shaft never transfers. You are swinging harder for shorter distance, wondering what you are doing wrong. The Ventus Black is Fujikura's stability first, low spin offering. A shaft built specifically for players who generate enough clubhead speed to overproduce spin and need a shaft that suppresses it. The target player swings above 105 miles per hour and fights a high, ballooning ball flight. Below that speed, the Ventus Black does the opposite of what you need. Instead of suppressing unwanted spin, it suppresses the spin you need to keep the ball in the air. Launch gets too low. Carry drops. The shaft's stiff tip section, designed to stabilize elite impact, prevents the mid-handicapper from squaring the face cleanly on anything less than a perfect strike. It is one of the most technically impressive shafts ever made. It is also one of the most commonly misfitted because it carries tour credibility that moves units regardless of whether the buyer can generate the speed to use it. Aldila Rogue Black. The Aldila Rogue Black became a cult shaft among serious amateurs in the early 2020s. Stout, stable, extremely low spin, designed for players who already generate effortless power and need the shaft to get out of the way. Tour players with swing speeds above 115 miles per hour put it in their bags for exactly that reason. The problem is that tour credibility spreads faster than tour swing speeds. Mid-handicappers playing the Rogue Black and the stiff or extra stiff profile are getting a shaft that was engineered to remove shaft assist entirely. For a player who needs shaft assist to generate launch and distance, removing it means one thing: shorter drives, lower ball flight, and a persistent fade they cannot explain. The Rogue Black is not a bad shaft. It is the wrong shaft for most of the people playing it. True Temper Dynamic Gold, X100. The Dynamic Gold is the most iconic iron shaft in the history of golf. It has been the benchmark steel shaft on tour for decades, and the X100 is its stiffest profile, built for professionals and elite amateurs producing extremely high swing speeds with their irons. Here is what the tour pedigree does not tell you. Playing a shaft that is too stiff in your irons produces low ball flight, reduced distance, a fade or a weak push on anything less than a perfect strike, and a loss of feel that makes it almost impossible to judge distance. A 15 handicapper playing Dynamic Gold X100 irons is fighting the shaft on every single shot. The club is working against the swing, not with it. The X100 Flex is appropriate for golfers whose 6-iron swing speed exceeds 90 miles per hour. Most amateur golfers are nowhere near that number. The shaft is in countless amateur bags anyway, because it is what the tour players use, and the label carries weight that the swing speed does not. Here is the fact the golf industry will not put on the product page. There is no governing body that defines what stiff means. The VP of Tour and Education at True Spec Golf stated publicly that when it comes to flex, there is no industry standard. A stiff label from one manufacturer can play identically to a regular from another. Project X plays firmer than its label. Fujikura plays differently from Mitsubishi. KBS plays differently from both. Two shafts with the same letter printed on them can behave like completely different instruments depending on the brand, the model, and the weight class. Every shaft on this list is marketed with imagery of tour professionals. None of those tour professionals have your swing speed. Nobody in the golf shop asked what yours was before you bought. The Kylie White is Mitsubishi's premium low-spin driver shaft, designed for the fastest, most aggressive swingers in the game who need a heavy, board-stiff profile to maintain control at extreme speeds. The 70X designation means 70 grams in extra stiff flex. It is among the firmest, heaviest shafts available in the consumer market. Shaft weight is a variable most amateur golfers never think about. A heavier shaft requires more force to swing at speed. For a golfer whose swing speed is already sitting at 88 miles per hour, adding a shaft that weighs 70 grams instead of 50 grams slows the entire swing down before the club even makes contact. You lose speed. You lose distance. You gain the feeling that something is wrong with your swing when the problem is sitting in your hands. The Kylie White 70X is a technically excellent shaft for the player it was built for. It was not built for most of the people buying it. The Tour AD series from Graphite Design is among the most respected shaft lines in professional golf. The DI7 Stiff Tip, designed for controlled, penetrating ball flight, has appeared in the bags of some of the best players in the world. It also retails for upwards of $350 as an aftermarket upgrade, making it one of the most expensive driver shafts available to consumers. Price creates a psychological trap. A golfer who spends $350 on a shaft assumes they have bought performance. For a player swinging below 100 miles per hour, the Tour AD DI7 delivers a stiff tip that resists squaring at impact, produces a ball flight that launches too low, and generates insufficient spin to hold carry distance. The performance the shaft was engineered to deliver is contingent on a swing speed most buyers simply do not possess. The most expensive shaft on this list. For most golfers, the most expensive mistake. The three that are actually built for you. If your swing speed sits between 84 and 96 miles per hour, which covers the majority of amateur male golfers, the Fujikura Ventus Blue in regular or stiff flex is one of the most well-rounded, properly calibrated shafts available. It offers mid-launch, mid-spin, and genuine forgiveness. On-off center strikes, it does not carry the tour cachet of the Ventus Black. It will ADD distance to your game because it was built for your swing, not someone else's. For golfers in that same 84 to 96 miles per hour range who want a steel option in their irons, the True Temper Dynamic Gold 105, not the S300 or X100, is a lighter profile that loads correctly for moderate swing speeds, delivers consistent feel, and has been validated in independent fitting data as one of the highest performing iron shafts for the average amateur. If you swing above 96 miles per hour but below 105 miles per hour, the Project X HZRDUS Smoke Red sits directly in that window. Lower spin than the stock offerings that come in most drivers, more user-friendly than the Black, and genuinely built for the player who has speed but not tour speed. It is the shaft the Smoke Black gets credit for being. You bought the stiff because stiff sounded right, because your playing partner plays stiff, because the tour player on the advertisement plays stiff. None of those are reasons. None of them have anything to do with your swing speed. The shaft that was built for 115 miles per hour does not become better at 90. It becomes a drag. A lever that never loads, a spring that never fires, a $400 aftermarket upgrade that is actively costing you distance every single round. The average male golfer swings at 93 miles per hour. The shaft built for that player is not the one at the front of the display. It is not the one with the tour player's name on it. It is the one that nobody in the shop pointed you toward because nobody asked what you actually swing. Which shaft have you been playing wrong? Drop it in the comments, and if a fitting ever revealed something that surprised you, we want to hear that too. This channel exists for the 93 mile per hour golfer. Subscribe and we will keep building it for you.